to 60 subscribers now. Absolutely blown past the 50. Totally didn't expect that at all. Quite humbled and overwhelmed, to be honest. Thank you Scab, thank you Donny B, thank you Donovan 2, thank you everybody. Pete Morrissey, Dean from Orion. I know there's other guys that I just sort of can't think about right now, but you know, especially all the guys that have subscribed to me straight from the start as well, especially Dean. He must have thrown my name out there, and all these Fatwood guys jumped on board. Like, you know, it's been an unexpected sort of little journey. So I was going to just make tonight about an accidental milestone of 50. I haven't been throwing out there, please subscribe or anything like that. I didn't intend on anything like that. I just thought that I would just take little baby steps and sort of play around and, you know, maybe change my name and do something else at a different stage. I had to get over the nerves and that, but you know, and I didn't know which path I was going down. I had no idea I was going to be doing Fatwood stuff, and you know, it's just worked out to be pretty cool. And the most important thing is I've stumbled upon a community, and I don't know, there's a bit of a strange sort of a thing for me. Like, I've spoken with Dean and I've spoke with Pete Morrissey about this. Us Aussies, I guess we're not as colourful when it comes to giving each other praises and pats on the back, and that's what I've noticed with you guys, especially in the States there. Like, I can't believe how nice you are to each other, the wonderful things that you say. Like, you just read like Donovan's comments, like, you know, it's actually pretty strange for us guys down here, like in Australia, especially around my mates. It's pretty much just g'day mate, how you going. We use our please and thank yous, but it sort of doesn't go much past thanks mate, good on you mate, you know. And we don't throw that around lightly. If we don't like you, you don't get mate. Everyone gets mate when you first meet. So we all start as equals and we treat each other how we like to be treated. But it doesn't go much beyond that. And I've sort of been overwhelmed and humbled with all these exceptionally nice comments and things like that. And it sort of half takes me out of, it's not so much taking me out of my comfort zone. Those sort of things just don't easily flow out of my mouth, and I have every intention of being as nice as you guys, but it's strange. And then I also hear from other friends especially I work with, and they sort of hearing me say brother and, you know, talk about love and all this strange stuff, and it's strange stuff that we definitely don't talk about, you know. But anyway, guys, the feeling is still there. It just doesn't flow out of my fingertips and my mouth quite as easily, you know. Love all the praise, you know. It's awesome. And I suppose where I'm coming from this is, I did 2 shout outs over the weekend. One was from EMS, and I could clearly see that he was reaching out and he needed something. I just said I'd give him a shout out, and if I can do that and it puts a smile on his face, or he gets a little bit of an excitement, just even enough to say thanks, it cost me nothing. It was no effort at all. And then watching Scab for the last year and a half or so, and seeing constantly every single day just being exceptionally nice and kind, and I don't know, just throwing his heart out there, and especially with the 22 a day thing, like, you know, when I seen he's sort of a bit down in his luck, and then after watching Ron T. Sawyer as well, lighting that little fire, I was thinking, well, that's the least we can do. And then, you know, he gives us a shout out, and it's bang, 22 new subscribers. Like, that's pretty unreal, the sort of clout that that's going around this little circle. And then you can see it totally crossing over, Knife, Fatwood, and it's the same people, you know. And from, you know, the funny thing is, the reason why I've got a few different knives here is because instead of writing in Scab's comments on your best 5 cold steel folders or pocket knives, I've got 6. I can't leave one of them out. I've got others, but these are my 6. The reason the other ones are here is because this is my little journey. My journey started with watching Donnie B's videos on cold steel Bowie knives, or Bowie, however you like to say them. I was asking him back in the day about the 1917 Frontier cold steel Bowie, this one here, versus the cold steel Wild West Bowie. And he went out and he basically was good enough to go out and a day or so later go out and then start chopping stuff in his backyard with these 2 knives specifically after asking. And I just thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then he's got all these other cold steels, and I had all these cold steels. So I thought, that's good. At that stage, I still wasn't ready to be spending, you know, much over $100 on a knife. So I wanted something big, chop, and I seen him doing other big Bowies, and he had like Cisco Bowies and all these primitive Bowies and all these other big things, and they were cheap knives, you know. I think he's talking like $30-$35 sort of US. So I started looking what we could get over here, and then and I seen this one here, which is the Marvels Mr. 555. Or MR 555 555. And I seen this one, thought that looked pretty decent. It was $70 Australian. I don't know what they go for over in the States. So then I started looking onto the internet, on YouTube. Who's doing reviews on these? Donovan too. And I think there was only one other video, so there was 2 videos at the time. And so that's how I first stumbled onto Donovan. And then after watching Donnie B, and the funny thing is, actually, the day that I seen the video on the Mr. 555 by Donovan, I also noticed a name, Pete Morrissey, in the comments with Australian flags. Then I also started seeing Pete Morrissey comments, Australian flags, on Donnie B, on Donnie B's channel. And then Donnie B does a video one day, and it's a shout out to Pete Morrissey from Down Under, and Pete's given him an Australian military patch or something like that, because Donnie's given one of his patches away to somebody else. And then there was a postcard as well, and I could see Redcliffe in the background. I know where that place is. And then so then I buy this, go back onto Donovan's site, make a comment, Pete comments back. I said, you're that guy, blah, blah, blah. We got chatting. Next thing you know, we catch up at the local pub, have a few beers and maybe lunch or something. I think we had lunch together as well, and that was that. Then, funny enough, after watching Donnie B's videos, I see a preacher, and he's talking about the cookery house and that and this and that. So I start looking at preacher videos, and then I come across Scab. And he's got the preacher, he's loving the preacher, etc., etc. So then that started making me look at the cookery house. And then I seen when they have their, what did they call it, when warehouse specials, where there's a certain amount of knives that are kept in country so you can save on the shipping. there was only 2 knives that they had in the Australian warehouse. One of them happened to be the Power Hammer Big Bowie. So then I typed that into YouTube, and along comes Cowboy Seabop. So Seabop does a review on this thing. Then I start seeing Pete Morrissey. So we've pretty much come full circle, and that was the little story of how. And then I've got to also mention Dean from Orion. He was also into the Cold Steel stuff. So that's how I got into. It was through Cold Steel. Got onto Dean. He was another Aussie, another in Brisbane, and I've gone on to meet him as well. So it's amazing how from Cold Steel to YouTube, I've gone around in these little circles, met 2 great guys online, and that's how it happened. Pete gave me nothing but encouragement to get on here. A couple other people encouraged me to get on here and just do something. My missus is going, you love the sound of your own voice, make your own video and you can speak shit and people don't have to listen to it, they can turn off or whatever. So anyway, that's how I got on there. And if it wasn't for Pete probably putting me on to Donnie, Donovan, Seabop, etc., I probably wouldn't have got anywhere. And then obviously Dean. Then Dean introduced me to the Fatwood guys, and then I started to see them cross over onto Scab's site, and now here we are. So anyway, we'll get to the Cold Steel pocket knives. I've rambled enough there. This is my little 50 or 60 now subscriber little special. Okay, so my 6 knives. They're not in, okay, I'll try and put them in a particular order. At the moment it's just biggest to smallest, but my favourites would have to be the AD10. Hard choice between the Luzon, yeah, I'll probably go the Luzon Voyager Serrated. I'll go the Rajah 2. Ooh. And I might even edge out the Code 4. Not that I don't like it. It's just the Broken Skull is so light. It's a nice big blade. It's got a very thin profile. That's what I sort of like for my EDCing over here, where we sort of got to be quite discreet. Although they're both about as thin as each other, this one is just so much lighter. And like out of the box, like these things this one's a bit dull now. It's still sharp. I don't think it shaves anymore, but sorry, I lie. It still shaves. So this has had a lot of use. I actually gave up on it. I thought it was needed to be sharpened. But anyway, this is a really good blade. It's nice and light. It's got good steel. It's a CTS XHP. It is made in Taiwan though, but it's quite a reasonably priced blade. A good knife for the money. Code 4. I still really like it. Really nice knife. But I definitely do favour my bigger knives. There's something about the Luzon, just the way how it just opens up like that. You know, that's awesome. You know, cheap knife again, cheaper steel, but it's razor sharp. It's better than a sharpened stick, that's for sure. 8010. I've never used it. I don't really intend on thrashing on this one. I've got heaps of other beaters and fixed blades to beat on, but this is the knife that I like to show off to everyone. And it just feels so good in the hand. And all of you guys who have got one, you would know. It's just a awesomely beautiful knife. Voyager Serrated. When it comes to cutting through material, seat belts, you know, if there was a bad accident, you had to get someone out of there, a motorbike rider who's in a really bad way, and you had to get his boots off or etc. that's where a serrated blade comes in. I know there's a lot of people that boo-hoo about serrated blades, but when it comes to cutting flesh, leather, clothing, seat belts, etc., etc., there's a reason why our steak knives are serrated. It's because they do the business. Even when they're blunt, they still cut. So, yeah, and this one's drawn blood on me, so it holds a special little point. And I really love cookeries, so how can you go past a massive cookery folder? So anyway, guys, that's a massive thank you to Scab and all of his guys that have come over and you know, subscribe to us. You know, I try to get back to everybody, everyone who leaves a comment. I like to comment. Actually, there is something. I don't know how to look up who my subscribers are. I know I've got subscribers that there's subscribers there that I don't know who they are. I don't get notifications for everything, and as some of the guys would know that I've been corresponding with in the comments disappear. I'll see them and I click on them and then they're gone. And I seen Stoney's Outdoors, he wrote something the other day, and I seen it and I clicked on it and then it just disappeared. So I didn't even get to read it. So sorry, mate. I seen it, clicked on it, and it vanished. So and I know Chuck and Steel, we've had the same sort of issue, and one of the Canadian boys as well. I can't remember which one it was, but maybe it might have been Shovel. I think it was Shovel that the same deal. I see his comment and I click on it to read it, and it's gone. I don't know what happens to it. I don't know how to get it back, and I don't know how to get subscribers. So I'm sure other people are sending me stuff, and I don't know how to retrieve it. And yeah, so if anyone can give us a little bit of a heads up on how to find out who my subscribers are. I know if I go onto my channel or whatever and I can see my subscribers down the left hand side, that's the people that I've subscribed to. I can't see who's subscribed to me. Anyway, I will definitely try and reply to all comments and if it takes me a little while, it's because of our time difference, work, afternoon. Like today, I had full intentions of making a tripod, making a big knife board to throw my tomahawks and knives at. I went to the Bunnings warehouse after work, came home, seen all my comments, started replying to the comments. By the time I finished, I looked up and it was dark. So yeah, it takes time to get back to 20 or 30 comments. So anyway, guys, I'm sure you all understand, and hit us up. I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about hard questions. I'll talk about hard subjects, anything. I don't care. Awesome, guys. Thanks. Love you all. See ya.